If you've ever ordered food late at night, you've probably watched the delivery driver slowly getting closer on your phone. A little dot moving through empty streets. You wait, the notification says, "Your order has arrived." You open the door, the food is there. The driver leaves, a completely ordinary moment, but what if, one night, the customer never opened the door and yet, someone still took the food? Tonight's story is a fictional psychological horror tale inspired by late-night delivery drivers, abandoned houses, and the terrifying idea that some orders were never placed by the living. This is Tales of the Dark. Ryan Carter had been delivering food for almost 3 years. Night shifts paid better. Fewer drivers stayed online after midnight. That meant higher tips, less traffic, and usually a quiet night. Most of his deliveries were completely forgettable. College students, night shift workers, gamers, parents too exhausted to cook. Nothing unusual, at least. That's what he believed. Until the last delivery on a rainy Thursday night. It was already 1:36 a.m. The roads were nearly empty. Rain dripped steadily across the windshield as Ryan waited outside a 24-hour diner for his next order. His phone vibrated. New order. Customer Michael H. Pickup, Miller's Diner. Delivery time 22 minutes. Address 148 Blackwood Lane. Ryan accepted it without thinking. The tip looked generous, almost too generous, $35 for less than 6 miles. He walked inside the diner. The waitress looked exhausted. She slid a brown paper bag across the counter. "That's the last order tonight." Ryan smiled. "Busy?" She shrugged. "Not anymore." As Ryan picked up the bag, the waitress suddenly frowned. What address was that? He looked at the receipt. 148 Blackwood Lane. The waitress stared at him. "You sure?" He nodded. "Why?" For several seconds, she didn't answer. Then she forced a smile. "Probably nothing." Ryan laughed. "You almost sounded worried." "I just thought that house was empty." He shrugged. "Maybe someone moved in." The waitress didn't reply. Ryan walked back to his car. Rain continued falling. The GPS estimated 12 minutes. He started driving. The city lights slowly disappeared behind him. Street after street became darker, the houses farther apart. Eventually, there were no sidewalks, only old trees, telephone poles, and wet asphalt reflecting his headlights. His phone suddenly chimed. "Customer message, please don't knock, just leave it inside." Ryan frowned. Inside, he read it again. "Please don't knock. The front door will already be unlocked. Leave the food just inside the entrance." "Thank you," he sighed. That wasn't allowed. Company policy required the order to be handed over or left outside. He typed a reply. "Sorry, I can only leave the order outside." The message failed to send. No signal. His GPS still worked, barely. The blue route flickered every few seconds, as if struggling to locate him. A few minutes later, another message appeared. "I know, please come inside anyway." Ryan stopped typing. How had the customer sent that without a signal? He looked around. Nothing but forest, no houses, no lights, only rain. He ignored the message. The GPS announced, "You have arrived." Ryan slowed the car. There it was, an old 2-story farmhouse sitting alone behind a rusted iron fence. No porch light, no lights inside. Every window was dark. Tall weeds covered the front yard. The mailbox leaned sideways. Its door hung open. Ryan checked the address. 148 Blackwood Lane. Correct. He picked up the food, walked toward the porch. The wooden steps creaked beneath his feet. The house felt abandoned. The front door stood slightly open, only an inch, exactly as the message had described. Cold air drifted from inside. He stood there for several seconds. Delivery, no answer. He knocked anyway. 3 slow knocks echoed through the house. Nothing. He called again. Food delivery. Silence. The app notified him. Customer is waiting. Ryan looked back toward his car. He suddenly felt strangely exposed, as if someone was watching him. He glanced toward the upstairs windows. Nothing, just darkness. His phone vibrated again. New message. "You're standing too far away. Come inside." Ryan's heartbeat slowed. He hadn't told the customer where he was standing. He hadn't called. There was no security camera above the door. No doorbell camera either. He looked around the porch. Nothing. Rainwater dripped steadily from the roof. He backed away, opened the app. Customer unavailable. Leave order at door. Perfect. He placed the food carefully beside the entrance, took the confirmation photo just as he pressed submit. The bag disappeared, not slowly, not dragged. It simply slid backward through the narrow opening of the door, as though someone inside had pulled it. Ryan jumped back. Hello, no answer. The door remained exactly where it had been, still open only an inch. He hurried toward his car, locked the doors immediately. His breathing became heavier. He looked at the delivery status, completed, customer rating pending. He started the engine before shifting into reverse. He glanced back toward the house. The front door was now completely closed. He drove away faster than he intended. 5 minutes later, his phone rang, unknown number. He answered. Hello, only static, then a quiet male voice. You forgot the drink. Ryan frowned. There wasn't a drink. The caller remained silent, then calmly replied. There always is. The call ended. Ryan pulled over. His hands trembled slightly. He opened the delivery receipt. Combo meal, fries, burger, large drink. He slowly looked toward the passenger seat. The cup holder was empty, he knew, without a doubt. He had carried the drink to the porch. His phone vibrated one last time. Delivery completed. Customer tip updated. Tip amount, $66, $60. Ryan stared at the screen. A second notification appeared underneath. Customer left a review, 5 stars, comment, see you tomorrow night. Ryan whispered to himself. I've never delivered here before. Then, his navigation system spoke in a calm electronic voice. Proceed to 148 Blackwood Lane, recalculating route. Proceed to 148 Blackwood Lane. Ryan never touched the screen. The address had entered itself. He tried canceling the route. It wouldn't disappear outside. His headlights suddenly illuminated an old wooden road sign. Blackwood Lane. He looked in the rearview mirror. The sign should have been behind him. He had already left that road slowly. His smile disappeared because somehow, without ever turning around. He was driving back toward the house. Ryan slammed on the brakes. The tires skidded across the rain-soaked road. His headlights stopped directly in front of the rusted iron fence. 148 Blackwood Lane. Again, his breathing became shallow. Number, I already left. He grabbed his phone. The navigation still showed the same destination. Distance remaining, 0 feet. He closed the app, opened another map, no signal. He restarted the phone. The screen stayed black for nearly 30 seconds when it finally turned back on. The only notification waiting for him was from the delivery app. New order, customer Michael H. Delivery address 148 Blackwood Lane. Ryan immediately declined it. The order disappeared. Less than 2 seconds later, it returned. He declined it again. The phone vibrated harder this time. Declined, new order. 148 Blackwood Lane. Declined, new order. 148 Blackwood Lane. Again. Finally, the app stopped asking. A message appeared across the screen. You cannot leave until this delivery is completed. The words vanished before Ryan could take a screenshot. He threw the phone onto the passenger seat. Started the engine, pressed the accelerator. The car moved, but every road looked exactly the same. The same trees, the same broken telephone poles, the same faded road sign. Blackwood Lane. He drove for nearly 20 minutes. The fuel gauge dropped. Rain became heavier. Then, his headlights illuminated the farmhouse. Again, this time, the front door stood completely open. A warm yellow light glowed from inside. Ryan gripped the steering wheel. I'm not going in. His phone rang, unknown number. He answered without speaking. A little girl whispered. My dad's still waiting. The call ended before Ryan could react. His delivery bag suddenly tipped over on the passenger seat. Another fresh paper bag now sat inside it. Warm steam rising from the top. A brand new receipt was attached. Combo meal, large drink, customer Michael H. Paid. Ryan hadn't picked up another order. He slowly opened the bag. The food was hot, freshly cooked, exactly like it had just come from the restaurant. His hands began shaking. The front porch light switched on by itself. The house was inviting him. Ryan stepped out of the car. The rain had stopped. The night became unnaturally silent. Even the insects had disappeared. He walked toward the open doorway. Every instinct told him to turn around. Instead, he stepped inside. The smell hit him first. Fresh food, old wood, dust. The house was fully furnished. Family photographs lined the walls. A grandfather clock ticked quietly. Everything looked lived in, except every object was covered by a thin layer of grey dust, as though nobody had touched anything for years. Ryan quietly called out, "Delivery," no answer. The dining table was already set. One plate, one glass, one empty chair. He placed the paper bag on the table. Immediately, footsteps echoed upstairs, slow, heavy, one step, then another. Someone was coming down. Ryan backed away. An elderly man slowly appeared at the top of the staircase, thin, pale. Wearing an old cardigan, his face carried a gentle smile. "You're late," Ryan stared. The storm slowed me down." The old man nodded. "It always does." He slowly walked downstairs. Every step sounded unnaturally loud. When he reached the dining room, he looked at the meal. "You forgot the drink yesterday." Ryan's blood ran cold. "I've never been here before." The old man looked confused. "Of course you have." He pointed toward the wall. Ryan turned. Dozens of framed delivery receipts hung there. Every single receipt carried Ryan's name. Different dates, different years. Some were dated 2027, 2028, 2029, years that hadn't even happened yet. Every receipt showed the same address, 148 Blackwood Lane. Ryan stumbled backward. "This isn't possible." The old man sighed. "I've been waiting a long time." "For who?" "For someone willing to take my place." The lights suddenly flickered. Every family photograph on the wall changed. The smiling family members disappeared. Only the old man remained, standing alone in every picture. Then, the grandfather clock stopped. Its hands settled at exactly 2:17. A loud knocking echoed from the front door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. The old man's smile disappeared. "He's here," Ryan whispered. "Who?" The old man looked terrified. "The next delivery." The knocking became louder. The entire house shook. Ryan slowly walked toward the front window. Outside, another delivery driver stood on the porch, wearing the same insulated food bag, the same rain jacket, the same baseball cap. He looked exactly like Ryan. The second Ryan raised his hand, knocked again, then looked directly through the window. Their eyes met. The duplicate smiled. Ryan staggered backward. "Number," the old man quietly said. "He always arrives. The house never lets the route end." Suddenly, the duplicate walked through the front door, not opened it, walked through it. As though the wood wasn't there, he stopped only inches away, holding another delivery bag. He spoke calmly. "You can leave now." Ryan looked at him in disbelief. "What? You completed the last delivery?" The duplicate smiled wider. "I'll handle the rest." The old man screamed. "Don't listen to him." Ryan looked between them. Everything around him blurred. The walls stretched. The hallway became impossibly long. The ceiling lights flickered one after another. Then everything went black. Ryan opened his eyes. Morning sunlight filled his car. Birds chirped outside. His engine was running. His phone displayed 8:42 a.m. No missed calls, no strange notifications. He laughed nervously. It was a nightmare. He started driving. 20 minutes later, he stopped for coffee. The cashier smiled. "Long night," Ryan nodded. "I think I need a new job." She handed him the receipt. As he picked it up, his smile faded. Printed at the bottom were 8 words. "Thank you for completing delivery number 4782. He stared at it. "I didn't order this." The cashier frowned. "Order what?" Ryan held up the receipt. It was blank, no message, nothing. He quickly left that evening. He permanently deleted the delivery app, or at least, he tried. The icon disappeared. Seconds later, it returned. He deleted it again. It returned again. Then his phone vibrated. New order. Customer Michael H. Address 148 Blackwood Lane. This time, there was no decline button, only accept. Ryan switched the phone off. The screen remained black. Then, without turning back on, the phone rang. A familiar voice whispered through the speaker, "You forgot the drink." Ryan slowly looked into the rearview mirror. Someone was sitting in the back seat, holding a warm paper bag, smiling. The police later found Ryan's car parked on the shoulder of Blackwood Lane. The engine was still running. His wallet, phone, and car keys were inside, but Ryan Carter was never seen again. If you are brave enough to hear more nightmares, subscribe to Tales of the Dark, and if you have your own terrifying experience, leave it in the comments or send your story by email. Maybe your nightmare will become the next story told here.